Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video about Max and Ruby and how the character of Ruby is the first taste of misogyny children get and how she is seen as a victim of a misogynistic smear campaign. And I did this as a project in my sociology class last semester and it went over quite well and I thought it'd be interesting to do as a video, and my brother agreed, so my brother pushed me to do this video, so here we are. Let me get on with it. Max and Ruby is an animated television production, first airing in the United States in October of 2002 on Nick Jr., a channel whose viewership is comprised of infants to mid-aged toddlers. The production follows two siblings, the eldest daughter Ruby and her younger brother Max, as they navigate day-to-day life. As young children, they are attempting to navigate tasks that are much beyond their standard set of responsibilities. They would go to the mall, take the bus to visit their grandmother, go shopping for groceries, and many other things that young children need their parents' aid in navigating. Due to the age difference, Ruby was forced to aid Max in his navigation of daily life, and due to her being a child, she was easily frustrated with Max's antics and difficulty to grasp topics that she understands. In Season 1, Episode 1, one of the subsections entitled Max's Bath, younger brother Max is eating ice cream and proceeds to spill it on himself, leading to Ruby having to clean him up. She brought him up the stairs into the bath the way a mother would. She washes him and realizes that she left the bubble bath in a linen closet. She goes to grab it, and Max decides it's a perfect time to go downstairs, grab more ice cream. He proceeds to spill it on himself and consequently in the bathtub, leading to Ruby having to repeat the cycle. She leaves something downstairs, he leaves the bathtub, spills more sherbet. This process repeats 3 times throughout the episode, depicting Ruby's mother-adjacent role and Max's lack of listening.
Peach Blossom is my favorite. Max, you can't take a bath with sherbet. Not again, Max. We have to get you clean. I found your quack quack duck, Max. Max! 3 baths and you are dirtier than ever. No more baths for you.
In Season 2, Episode 3, Ruby, Valerie, and Louise are practicing for the Bunny Scout concert, playing, quote, a farmer in the dell as a trio, but Max keeps interrupting with his toy to play music with them. He soon ends up playing whack-a-mole, and Ruby lets him join the band as a quartet.
Thanks for fixing the chair, Max. We'll have to change our name to Ruby's Red Hot Quartet, featuring Ruby on piano,
Louise on violin, Valerie on recorder, and Max on whack-a-mole. Music!
The final episode I'll be discussing is Season 2, Episode 6, the subsection that is Max's dragon shirt. So Max and Ruby go to the mall by the bus to buy Max's new overalls with $5 that Ruby has, but Max finds this dragon t-shirt, and Max sneaks away with the shirt, messes it up with ice cream, which forces Ruby to buy this shirt that she doesn't want Max to have with her own money.
And it costs $5.
$5?
Thank you for shopping with us today.
What about your new overalls, Max?
No money left.
Based off of the examples I've listed and shown you, the episodes have a very clear outline. Ruby is trying to aid Max in something, trying to get him to be obedient, do what is deemed socially acceptable, and then there's a problem that occurs generally because of Max or because the way that the world works, Ruby's having a problem, and then something that Max is doing ends up solving it, creating this heroic character arc for Max every single episode. And all of these examples also create this precedent that Ruby has a mother figure in Max's life. And you may be asking yourself, does this matter, or how is this influencing me? It's been heavily discussed that the consumption of aggressive media leads to an increase in a child's aggression. And no, I'm not calling this show about bunny rabbits aggressive. However, this idea proves relevant in discussing the rhetoric that is seen in media. There are a slew of studies about how aggressive media warps the way a child experiences aggression. And in many cases, it's discussed that a child who already experiences aggressive tendencies becomes more aggressive when viewing violent media, but when they are not aggressive and they view violent media, it doesn't really affect them. However, there have been studies that have also said the opposite, so while this is a wishy-washy case, there are a number of other examples that encapsulates the impressionability a child has. It is known that what children consume is what they regurgitate later in life. Children who witness their parents being abused are generally abused or abusive to their partner in their lifetime. This cycle can go from generations until someone separates their desires from the love that they witness as a child. The YouTube channel Soft White Underbelly discusses this dynamic quite well through Mark Laudia's interviewees' explanation of how they got into the predicaments of homelessness, abuse, prostitution, and pimping. It almost always circles back to familial issues and witnessing what their parents have gone through. Perhaps this may be seen as tangential when discussing something as innocent as Max and Ruby, but it stands for a bigger picture. A child's mind is absurdly malleable. Any media they intake will alter their perception of health, friendships, and mastery, as stated by NIH.gov, which is why when we were growing up we saw the Michelle Obama ads on Disney telling us to abide by the My Plate food rules, or why other early 2000 shows like Dora the Explorer, Wow Wow Wubbzy instilled this concept of true genuine friendship where everyone is seen as equal. To a degree, Max and Ruby instill similar ideas in regards to friendship. However, the point that I'm making is that it still instills these gender roles we discussed. That Ruby, because she's a girl, has to be this guiding hand for Max, and in many cases overprotective due to the repercussions she would face if she got him hurt or lost him. The idea of children's impressionability can be seen in a more poetic lens in various pieces of literature. Be, or If I Should Have a Daughter by Sarah dissects this dynamic in a unique way through the perspective of a mother knowing what influence she has on her daughter. I'm going to read fragments of this poem, not the entire thing. It's incredibly long, but I will link it down below. If I should have a daughter, instead of Mom, she's going to call me Point B, because that way she knows that no matter what happens, at least she can find her way to me. Sure, she knows that she does not have to wear the cape all by herself, because no matter how wide you stretch your fingers, your hands will always be too small to catch all the pain you want to heal. Believe me, I've tried, and baby, I tell her, don't keep your nose up in the air like that. I know that trick, I've done it 1,000,000 times. You're just smelling for smoke so you can follow the trail, back to a burning house so you can find the boy who lost everything in the fire to see if you can save him. Because that's the way my mom taught me, that there will be days like this. There will be days like this, my mama said, when you open your hands to catch, and you wind up with only blisters and bruises, you step out the phone booth and try to fly. And when they finally hand you a heartache, when they slip war and hatred under the door and offer you handouts on street corners of cynicism and defeat, you tell them that they ought to really meet your mother. There are a number of poems that attack this from a different standpoint, leaning into the way a mother molds her daughter's insecurities. However, this video seems ever so depressing. I thought a feminist outlook might lighten the mood while getting the same point across. Ruby's motherly nature has allowed many children to think of their sisters as caretakers, neglecting the age difference between them and their sister. The expectation that women will always be able to help is a learned expectation that was perpetuated by Max and Ruby, and the show's attempt to make Max look like the hero at the end of every episode also furthers this existence of male praise, when in fact a woman is the one who's allowing him to do the things that the man gets praised for. Now, onto the section of the way that Ruby is perceived socially. TikTok creator who goes by the name of Munchie Monk has made 9 TikTok videos which all sum over 15 minutes of footage of him expressing his distaste for Ruby's motherly attributes. He proceeds to undermine the fact that she's also a child. Therefore, the creator perceives her non-traditional nor effective ways of disciplining him are her quote-unquote intentionally being a bitch, as the creator calls her. Many of the comments are in agreement, saying that, quote, as a woman, we don't claim Ruby, or, quote, maturing is realizing that Ruby was the villain, unquote. YouTuber KP Lee created a video essay in 2022 entitled Max and Ruby is the Reason Why I'm Sexist. While the titling is baffling enough, the content of the video is even more jarring, where Lee proceeds to call Ruby a bitch 10 times in the video. He does get upset over Ruby's motherly tendencies, like keeping track of him or keeping him dressed, saying that, quote, she needs to let him do his own thing, unquote. But in Season 1, Episode 9, Ruby has Max drop something off at the mailbox, to which Lee says that, quote, Ruby is setting Max up to be attacked by Epstein, unquote. The creator is grasping at straws to get us to hate Ruby, to the point where he continually contradicts himself. The only argument he makes that he doesn't contradict is the derogatory names he calls Ruby throughout the video, like bitch, slut, and whore. All of those arguments are obviously dispelled by the nature of a Nick Jr. production. While I know all of these videos are satirical in nature, the discussion that goes on in these comments are generally not. And you may be listening to me thinking, wow, this girl is quite the dramatic, which I understand. But this idea of Ruby being a cruel figure uses the same logic that is the reason that young girls are so embarrassed when boys call them bossy, or the reason that assertive women in the workplace are perceived as bitches by men. The point of this is not to say that Max is a bad child or a bad brother, or to say that Ruby is the world's best sister. However, the way people consume this media now pits these two siblings against each other, and paints Ruby to be a horrible mother figure, when in fact she's a 7-year-old girl who's doing the best she can to raise her 3-year-old brother. Watching videos of men grasp at straws in an attempt to make Ruby seem like a bad person depicts the way that men get upset and villainize women for leading into their quote-unquote motherly tendencies, but in cases that they don't aid men and boys, they're being a bitch. This video was all in good fun, so please, to the creators who I reference in this video, don't kill me. I'm just a girl. I have a lot to live for. Yeah, I know this video does seem a little tangential, as I earlier referenced. However, I think the video does really have a point of the way that people perceive Ruby is just so bothersome to me, because she is really just doing her best to be a mother figure. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want. I'm hoping to do another video about like some dark romance books or whatever, but that means I have to read them, which is not something I really want to do. But I'm so interested in the way that dark contemporary romance can morph the mind of young readers. So that'll be happening soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!